Hi everyone and welcome to Gamerside. This is Driftwood speaking once again, and today I'm here to give you my verdict on Syberia the World Before. I don't know if you remember, but I had the opportunity to play a preview version of the game, and I found it pretty promising, and I'm very happy to say that I've really enjoyed the final version, the full game. I had a great time playing. I have to say that after the third episode, which was quite a disappointment, I think, for a lot of people, at least for me, I was relieved to see that the series back on track with a story that's probably more personal than it's ever been, which may be why I really enjoyed it. But also one of the reasons I really had a great time playing is that I really find the game gorgeous. Sure, it's a double A game. It's not a big budget, and it shows in some ways. I mean, the faces of the characters, the animations of their face. It's clearly not always the best, but you can still feel the emotions of the different characters through their eyes. And I can't say about the English version, but the French version is really good. I mean, the voice acting in French is really top-notch. From what I heard, it sounds good enough in English, but don't take my word for it, because I mainly played in French, I have to say. Kate Walker's voice is iconic in France, as it's the same woman who used to play Lara Croft in the first games. So obviously for me, it meant a lot, and she sounds amazing. So actually, I believe you can play in French if you will. And after all, even if the characters are not supposed to be French, it's a French game after all. So who knows if you want to give it a try. I'm guessing the actress playing Kate Walker in English is the same American actress than before, but as I've never actually heard the game in English, I wouldn't know for sure. So what I really like about the game is the atmosphere. It's it's in a way, and maybe it's because Benoit Sokal passed away, I don't know, but the music, and which is very reminiscent of the classical music in general, it made me really feel that sort of melancholy, maybe, that the characters felt, or that maybe the story is about something that is sometimes a bit sad. The events take place in two different time periods, in 2005 when you play as Kate Walker, but also just before and during the Second World War, when you get to play a young woman called Dana Rose. And both characters, I mean, it's very well balanced, and it's really hard to, you don't have to pick, basically. The two characters are very well written, and it's very interesting to play both. And there's always, I mean, at least for me, I always wanted to know what happened to Dana, because that's what Kate Walker's after. She wants to find out who that person was and what happened to her. And so she's following leads that she picks up as she goes. She meets with so many different characters, some old people from who actually knew Dana when she was young, so who participated to the war, for example. And it's really interesting, actually, and like I said, it's for me it works better because maybe there's no, like, iconic bad guy who's like over the top and everything. It's really more intimate in a way, and I think that's what makes the story and the soundtrack in a way very effective for me. I was moved more than once, I would say, and sure enough, in a way, probably have been more moved if the cutscenes had looked a bit better, because, like I said, the landscapes, the scenery, I mean, it's all great. Look at this. I mean, it's Unity engine, but it looks really, really nice, and art style is also the best. What Benoit Sokal came up with, the automatons and the even the trams. It's just mind blowing what they can do. Like they can go up a mountain as you saw before, but they can also go through water, like a lake or something. It's very clever the way they work, and that world, that mix between yes, it's not exactly steampunk, but I would say that some things of obviously do not exist now, and it did not exist back then, but it works very well, as it's always worked actually in the series. And so I was really, really, I was hooked. I mean, I wanted to keep on playing, and I completed the game in about 13 hours, a bit more maybe. Took my time, but never got stuck because of the puzzles, which I think are also a highlight of the game. So something is very simple, like this is not really a puzzle, but you have a portrait of Dana, and you try to see if it's really the place where it was made. So you have to find common points in the scenery, looking at the painting and then back at the view. And it's a very simple thing, but it's something you're not going to do twice in the game. So there's a lot of variety basically, and that works very well in an adventure game. Being an adventure game, obviously you're going to talk to a lot of characters, like I said. So like here, this old woman, Lenny, who is very important in the story. And, well, you're not going to be able to change the ending depending on your choices. This is not exactly Life is Strange in that respect. But there's a lot of narration anyway. There's a lot of dialogues and lore to discover, like side... I wouldn't call them missions or anything, but like side things you can do. It doesn't take a long time, but it gives you more info, more background information about the world and the people. And it works very well because it doesn't take you a lot of time to do it. And sometimes it's actually very easy to dismiss them because, it's your... I mean, you can still you can see what you're supposed to do, like the main goal you have and the side activities you can do. But it pops out just very quickly the first time. So if you don't look at it again, you can easily dismiss it. But I think it would be a mistake because it's always very nice to take the time to just enjoy the atmosphere and this world. And sometimes, like activities like this, there's a mission you have to serve people because you're a waitress in this place, and it's not difficult. It's mainly like sort of QTEs you do. And sure, it's not challenging, but it's not very long. And again, you're not going to do it more than just the one time. So that makes it unique in its own way. And there are like short sequences like that all the time, things you do. And I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to say too much, but there's a certain character and that like things you're going to have to do one or twice or maybe three times in the game. It's not what you do with Kate or Dana, if you will. So it all works very well, and the combination of everything. So that story that got me interested, the characters that I found endearing, the music by Inon Zur, which is just it's great. Is all I can say. Voice acting also again. It's the French version that I played, so don't want to say the English one is excellent, but at least the French one is excellent. So I'm betting them, and they put the money down to make it possible because the French version was terrible. And the third episode, you had few actors who were actually good, but some were really, really bad. And this time it's really, really, really solid, and I believe that they also did the same for the English version. I sure hope it's the case because that's actually what keeps the story going too. So here you can see that I'm actually like trying to rummaging through like a box, trying to find information about the past. But I'm going to also find this chest, which obviously because it's a point and click adventure. It's not as simple as that to open it. I mean, it's not like you just need a key and that's it. So you're going to have to figure out a way to open it, but there are actually a certain number of steps. First one would be to try to rebuild this view, this scenery, moving these tiles. And this is just the first part of what you have to do. On the other side, you'll have to do something a bit similar, as you can see here, which is trying to find exactly. Again, the idea is you need to have the picture or painting. Not too sure what it is, that is complete. But then, when you think it's over, and you believe you're going to be able to open the chest, you realize that, well, sure enough, because it's an adventure game, there's going to be something else to do. So that is not too difficult. For example, here, have to, again, it's like a puzzle in some way, but a very simple one. And that's actually key. It's never too challenging. It's really not difficult. Sometimes you may miss a clue, and if you miss a clue, obviously, it's going to take you a bit more time than it did for me. But it's really something that when I said I played 13 hours, it's really 13 hours of the game and never got stuck more than a few minutes on a puzzle. I mean, usually you figure out what you have to do, and if you don't, you look around you and you find what you need. So here, finally, I get my hands on sort of journal. And this is when it's well done, because every time that you go back into the past, it's basically someone telling you what happened, or you, as Kate, reading because you found a document telling you about a certain period in 1937 or more. And here you could see there was Dana, actually, who wasn't there, but that's because Kate was reading. So there's a nice mechanic which allows you to switch between Kate and Dana. But because Kate is reading what we're playing now, it's like the gameplay is actually the story. So Kate needs the key to the chest. It's not going to be the last thing she needs to open it and for good, once and for all, but it's going to be something she needs now. But when she's reading that document, that journal by I think Lenny wrote it, the old woman we saw earlier, she's going to find out where Dana actually hid it. And thankfully, it stayed there for more than 50 years. But it's a video game again, so that probably makes sense. That would have been a bit awkward if the key wasn't there and there was no way to open the chest. But the thing is, now because we've seen where it is, because Kate has read where it is, she can actually get the key. So what you need to do is simply to switch back to Kate by just pressing LB or L1 if you play on PlayStation, and then you're back in the present. So just in just a few seconds, yeah. So see here, I'm walking around, but then I need to switch to Kate now. So that's it. And now I know where it is. But see, she's still reading. So there's no magic. It's not like she's connected and she can see in the past. Simply just makes sense that she would read something about past events, or someone would tell her about past events, and then she would be able to figure out what to do. So here we have the keys. It's Junta's keys, as you saw. And it's the next step in the puzzle. So not all puzzles take so many times, such a long time to solve, obviously. Sometimes very simple. But even if it takes a bit of time, it's never difficult to the point where you want to give up, or you just want to go check the internet because you're bored. So that's key, I think. So to conclude, I would say, yeah, I really think it's a great Syberia episode this time, and I would recommend it if you like the series, and if you want to find out what happens to Kate, and to find out things about her and her background that we actually didn't know before. So That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I try to make it as clear as possible. But as usual, if you have some feedback to give, please do, because it can help. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.
This is the one.